So here's what I want to do for this lesson here. What we're finding is that a lot of people really struggle, because we live in the US, because we're used to measuring in things in like inches and feet and yards and miles. Whenever we try to do the metric system, because we don't use it a whole lot, I'll ask questions like, okay, how many centimeters are in a meter? Or how many meters are in a kilometer? Or other things like that, which for people who have used the metric system a lot is really, really easy. For us, when we don't use it, it takes a little while to get used to. So kind of the expectation in class is that you guys will know these basic relationships. You'll know that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. You'll know that there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. You'll know that for every meter you have 1,000 millimeters, things like that. What I want to do here is show you a little trick that will help you if you struggle to figure this out. Okay? So what we're going to do with this, all right, oops. Remember how we did this the other day? You had the whole kids have dropped over dead converting metrics. And that was, yeah, we all remember that. That was an easy way to remember some of the common prefixes. So K is for kilo. H is for hecto. The first D is for deca. Now, something that we should add to this is that the symbol for deca is, let's see if I can write, is DA. And the symbol for deci, the other D, is just, if you've got that, remember the O stood for the base unit, so that's things like meters and grams and liters and that sort of stuff. Like we talked about, this D right here stands for deci, then centi, and milli. And the thing that's going to help us is to remember that off here to the left, right? Off here to the left, the farther left you are, the bigger the unit. So a kilo is bigger than a hecto, or a deci is bigger than a milli, because those are farther to the left. The farther to the right you go, the littler they are. And I don't know if littler is a word, but it should be. And what we're going to need to do to help us on this is to remember that you can fit a lot of littler things into one bigger thing. All right? You can fit a lot of littler things into a bigger thing. So for example, if I have a kilo and a hecto, which one's bigger? Kilo. Kilo's bigger because it's farther to the left. So you can fit a lot of little hectos into one big kilo. All right. So let's look at this. What I want to do is this example right here. I want to talk about how we figure out how grams are related to milligrams. Now, if you have this memorized already and it pops into your mind, hey, I know that there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram, you're good to go on this. If not, let me show you an easy way that you can figure this out. Okay. So if I want to figure out how grams are related to milligrams, what I'm going to do. First thing is I need to figure out what are the 2 units I'm comparing. So if we want to know grams and how they're related to milligrams, what are the 2 units that we're comparing? Yeah. All right, so which one is our base unit? So that's going to be our grams. And over here, this is going to be our milligrams. So what you need to do is when you are trying to figure out how these are related to each other, the very first thing is mark it on our kids have dropped over dead converting metrics. Mark those 2. Okay, so in this case, we marked the O, which stands for the base unit, and the M that stands for the millis. All right. Now, if you want to underline those or put a dot or an X, whatever floats your boat, go ahead and do that. But after you've marked those two, you need to figure out which one's bigger. Okay. And we talked about this, remember, that you've got the one that's farthest to the left is the bigger one. Okay? And the one that's farthest to the right is the littler one. And what I want you to do is just put a 1. Okay? Just put a 1 above the bigger unit. So in this case, our base unit, our grams, is the bigger one, so I put a 1 over the top of that. Then after you've put the 1 over the top of the larger unit, then you go and you put zeros over each of the prefixes. You put zeros over each of the prefixes until you reach the little prefix. So I'm going to put a 0 over this one, a 0 over this one, and a 0 over this one because that's the littlest one. And here's what I end up with. What I end up with is how many of the little one is in one of the big ones. All right. So I write it in the format of one big unit. So in this case, our big unit is 1 gram equals 1,000 grams. And that comes from right up here. So just a little trick to help you out with things. So here's what I want you guys to do. What I'd like you guys to do is figure out how millimeters are related to decameters. By the way, the answer is 10,000. So that way you'll know if you're getting it right or not. What I'd like you to do right now is show me how you get that answer. Okay?